You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or find us on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
What's up, bitches? It's Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 122 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. Find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast. You guys are throwing me off.
You can check us out on Twitter at WNS Podcast for the main site, WN Source.
We're also on tout at WNS Podcast.
It's going to be one of those episodes. So there you go. Welcome to the show. How you guys doing? Happy now. Y'all are in a upbeat mood. You just woke up all of a sudden.
I don't know,
Yeah?
man. I don't know.
You can't explain
I
it?
don't know, man.
22, son? 22.
Can't even.
All right. So welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about. Going to be joined by Booker T superstar, Ruthless Ryan Davidson.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Guy who comes, performs all over the state of Texas. Been on Raw a few times, so look forward to that one. But kicking things off, we're going to go. Do we have any kind of listener feedback, any reviews or
No.
Oh.
Hey, leave us an
All right,
iTunes
then.
review, please.
Yeah, I certainly do.
Why
appreciate
not?
it. Yeah. What have you got to lose? All right.
It's free.
It just takes a second.
Yeah.
Helps us out.
One click away, and then several clicks while you're typing it, and then one more click. It's that simple.
Even if you just want to leave stars.
Stars work.
Yeah.
Because that's one click. 5-star. Click. There you go. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and kick things off. We get closer to Extreme Rules taking place on the 19th, not the 26th, as Tyler was
What's going on?
The old
Are you going?
ECW.
I was about to say, well, I'm waiting for a championship and then wrestling. Wow, 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 wow.
Sounds like he's doing meow.
Was
Oh,
that?
he's looking for any excuse to throw a meow in there. You silly bitch.
You're so weird. So as we get closer to Extreme Rules, you know, we're on the downfall slope of WrestleMania. WrestleMania is going to be coming out in Blu-ray, DVD next week.
Combo packs.
Combo packs.
I don't know.
maybe.
I
don't know.
Yo, combo.
Exclusive 3D edition with
This is pose.
polar bear dressed in the logo. I don't know.
Google Glass edition.
Yeah, I don't know. But kicking things off, we have a promo between Cena and Ryback. I didn't get to see this segment, but
Of course you didn't.
I was at work, so you know. I know.
I'm
I'm
just
just,
kidding.
crying here. But what did you guys think about it? Give us
Plays
yeah.
really nicely into the promo. The whining.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed it. You wouldn't know. Fuck.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
wouldn't. So guys, give us the rundown. What happened here? What's going on? How you guys doing?
But first,
How you guys?
How you guys doing? It's been a while.
you want me to do it, Aber?
Oh,
Or do you want
doing
to?
fine. No,
Oh man, this is what's gonna happen throughout the show.
always.
No, it's basically Cena coming out.
Doing the comedy
He's hurt,
get
but
up.
he's
He
Yeah.
always does a comedy bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's hurt, but he's not injured, and he does this comedy thing. And Vicky comes out, and she says that that there hasn't been a stipulation named for Extreme Rules for the title match between him and Ryback, and she is an excellent GM, so she's gonna get input from both Cena and Ryback as to what type of match they would like before she made a decision. So Ryback comes out. Cena's like, "Yo, I don't give a shit," and what kind of match it is?
Because I'm gonna win.
He makes fun. He makes fun of Ryback a lot.
To his face. And also what felt weird to me was like Ryback didn't say nothing, I don't think, at first, and Vicky was like, "You're lucky that Cena gave you the option to choose." I don't know, it felt weird to me. Like this, I know you got used to Cena doing all the jokes. I roll my eyes at that. but I don't know. It felt weird to me.
Well, the thing I really to kind of cap it off is that Ryback was like, Cena passed on making a call, and Ryback chose last man standing. The problem I really had with Cena's thing was he made fun of Vicky, like, again, for being like, I'm gonna say fat, but that, like, he obviously he has a history with Vicky being like an ass to him, but
she wasn't.
But that's we've somewhat passed that, and not only he no one ever attacks Vicky. You got Cena and The Rock, your top like babyface guys that have been around over the past year, making fun of Vicky, but not for being a terrible like GM or like a vindictive person who's trying to screw everyone over. They make fun of her for being old, for being fat, just like stuff that I don't want my like top babyfaces doing.
Yeah.
It's just it's pretty awful. He said granny panties.
Yeah.
They will not have a Vicky's granny panties on a pole match or something like that.
He took the focus off of like, what was supposed to be between just a little bit between him and Ryback, just to shift it on to
it's just
Vicky.
Like, I mean, I just don't. That's not what I want out of my top faces. I didn't like when Rock did it. I don't like when Cena does it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's fine to get into it with Vicky, but do it over what she's done and how she's handled herself in her position. Not because she's an older lady, not because she's quote unquote like a bigger lady.
And over the past
not cool.
And over the past few weeks, Vicky hasn't really done anything,
right?
Vengeful or hateful. I mean, she's kind of
Ziggler.
Just with Ziggler. Other than that, it seems like she's trying to portray like I'm going to be actually a good general manager and make right decisions. So it's not like she's coming out and cackling.
She still does
something.
the excuse me, but that's her shtick. I mean,
that's what gets her a reaction. But she could easily come out, instead of just screaming it at the top of her lungs, she could be like, "Hey, let me just stop you right there," and just that would kill that gimmick if she chose to just not come out and say excuse me. But she hasn't done anything to deserve being attacked like that. So
I mean, like I said, I can see playing on the history that she's had with these people. Well, really not The Rock, because he had no history with her.
Yeah.
But I could see Cena playing on his history with her if he was to do it through like legitimate stuff instead. Like the whole thing of your good guys being total dicks to women is not very cool. It doesn't sit well with me.
No.
But the people these days eat it up.
Yeah,
So.
pretty much. It's like, oh, let's poke fun of Vicky, but the reason is why. We don't have a reason. So Ryback ends up picking a last man standing match, and if we know anything from the history of John Cena matches, whether it be last man standing match, submission or I quit matches or something like that, I mean, you might as well just telegraph people saying, hey, Ryback's not going to win on this one unless there's foul play involved. But I don't see Ryback getting the championship unless they just wanted to completely throw you for a loop. But like another thing is like I can in a way see him doing it because they don't really have anyone else to step up against Cena unless they decided to give Cesaro that push. But I feel like he's in his area right now where he's getting ready to get out, but it's the timing's not ready for him. So would you guys possibly see Ryback getting the victory by whatever means necessary to get the victory, be the champion, so it continues the Cena Ryback feud a little bit? Because to be honest, I don't really see anyone else stepping up against Cena that's saying, okay, I've got credibility to take you down.
Well, I reserve the right to change my mind later for predictions and stuff. But as of right now, me personally, no, I don't see Ryback taking it. For one, they just put the belt back on Cena.
Yeah.
For two, I think that they like to, and it's not necessarily a rule that they have, but it seems like they like to have a babyface champ and a heel champ, and they just put the belt on Ziggler as well, and I'm not convinced they're ready to take that off of him. So I think it's kind of like a nice ebb and flow to have a babyface champ and a heel champ. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see another. I think honestly, I think Danile Bryan's your number 2 face in the company.
Yeah.
I mean, does that seem realistic?
Kind of. I mean, like there are those guys who, no matter what, they're going to be your top baby faces. But I feel like Danile Bryan is getting up there, and they've kind of put a spotlight on him here recently with his involvement with the Shield, and
it almost seems like Cena Ryback has taken a back seat to Shield. Hell no, like
Yeah.
that's kind of like they've been kind of getting the main events and the focus of the show. It almost seems like.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty confident in saying I feel that Bryan's the number 2 face in the company. I don't count Taker. I don't
over
count
Sheamus or
Yeah, I was about to say
and
over
Orton.
Sheamus.
Because Orton's still getting popped. Sheamus is still getting popped.
Yeah, but I don't think they're getting the pops.
The Daniel Bryan
You're right. You're right. It's not like I mean, technically, you guys are right. Yeah, they're probably seen in a better light by the general audience, and they're probably like in the back considered higher as well. But it feels like from the reaction that he gets and the focus that he's getting as of late, like because Sheamus feels still, Orton's fucking moldy. He's so still that it feels like Bryan is a feel good number 2 pick for like your number 2 face of Cena. Plus, he's been involved with,
or
he's been the guy who's run in for Taker, he's run in for Cena, and of course Kane, his buddy. But I don't know.
I wouldn't mind seeing Daniel Bryan going up against Ziggler, because
I can see that
because they have a history of putting on some pretty good matches, Bryan is a good guy working as the underdog, and from a physical standpoint, Ziggler is a larger guy than Daniel Bryan, so they could, because you have to people take shots at Ziggler because he's not the biggest guy, he's not the tallest guy, he's not the strongest guy, he's not the fastest guy, but he works his ass off, as well as Daniel Bryan. So, that would be a good credible matchup that would be a great, pay-per-view match quality.
I could see that happening, and I know a lot of people are already like, "What the fuck" about the whole Ziggler thing. Like, it's like the reason I don't feel like it feels like he's solidified as a champion. Well, for one, he's only had the belt for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But for two, is like I don't think a guy's gonna make a name for himself off of some weird like triple threat like feud over the title. I think he needs like a one-on-one opponent to establish himself.
Yeah.
Bryan would be
And
good
Bryan
for that.
is as good of a candidate as anyone. Of course, they've got to finish up the Hell No stuff, and they'll. I mean, I think we're all thinking they probably drop to Shield at the pay-per-view, but
yeah, but we'll have to see how everything plays out next week on Raw. But yeah, so we got to see Cena and Ryback pick a last man standing match. And do you guys agree that it's sort of like why even pick this match?
Well, I'm not a fan of like gimmick pay-per-view themes in general. I don't think every match needs a gimmick just for the sake of having a gimmick pay-per-view. I don't think that there is enough of a history between these guys, or there's enough fire in the feud itself to require a stipulation. I just don't.
Just have a regular match or like a no count out.
Yeah. What I would do is I would switch the Lesnar and Triple H match with Cena and Ryback. Have Cena and Ryback be a steel cage match so that they can say, oh, that way the Shield's not going to be involved. No one's going to get involved. And then, have Triple H and Lesnar be a last man standing match. But that's just me if I were trying to do it. But, moving right along through Raw, we got to see Randy Orton going up against Damian Sandow. And as Damian Sandow was coming to the ring, he decided to write new lyrics for Orton's theme music. Did you guys get to hear that? Or what were your thoughts on first hearing that?
I mean, it was fine. I mean, it's a nice little poke at Orton. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big Orton fan.
So, but throughout the match, Orton ends up getting the victory on it. Both looking pretty good. Orton ends up defeating Damian Sandow, but after the match, as Orton's walking up to the ramp, Big Show comes and knocks him out. And I wanted to comment on it, but like that punch did not look powerful at all. It kind of looked like Show was rushing, came out and it was like, oh, he's right here. You know.
Well, it was almost like they didn't intend to show it because they
'cause-
played it off like they were focusing on the announce team. Michael was like, whoa, look over there, over there.
That's what
Yeah.
I was about to, it was
Yeah.
kind of funny how that worked
But
out.
but in a really contrived way, as if that was how it was planned.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they intended to show it, and I guess they felt like they had to get like an alternative angle or something, or for people to see it.
I don't know. I kind of felt different. Like, I don't know, like they messed up with the camera. That kind of like too long on like Cole or something. That's how I felt. Like they didn't.
Well, that's how they normally run the shows. Like, you know, they'll aim it on the commentary guys so that they can talk about whatever. And
Because it was like whatever said, look, he just punched him, and they're like they stood there for a little bit, and they said something else. but it was like-
Oh, okay. You mean you're like waiting for the cut to go to the
That's how it
different
seemed like
different
to me,
camera
though.
angle?
I thought it was
Gotcha.
very much intentional. It just felt like that's
Yeah.
how they wrote it in.
So they're trying to shake it up a little bit, a little more unpredictability, and I got that feeling on this week's Raw. There was a little more, you know, like the whole Lesnar going to the WWE headquarters and stuff like that. Obviously, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but it you know, it felt a little new.
I'm not sure I share that.
Okay,
Maybe,
well, I mean, we'll dive into it.
You're stupid.
Okay. So next up, we got to see.
See what I did there? See what I did there?
Hey,
next up,
is this bitchin' radio?
it is. So next up, we got to see Antonio Cesaro going up against Zack Ryder. You know, Cesaro comes out and he's ditched the U.S. you know gear. He's coming out wearing the hat or beret. Is it a beret?
Right?
I don't know what it's
I think a
called,
beret is the kind that like slope like this. They kind of go down there.
but- Okay,
I think berets are like military gear. You know what I mean?
gotcha.
I don't think it would, unless it's like some. It made me think like a Russian dude, like whenever I saw it, just because it has that. But I'm a really ignorant dude from Texas, so I don't fucking know. You
And
know?
rocking the sunglasses too. So so he comes out and
New jacket.
Yeah, destroys Zack Ryder, getting the victory on that one. Grabs the microphone. I loved this promo from Antonio Cesaro. He comes out and says, you know, I don't normally ask for the microphone that often, but when I do, it's to make a point. Is this all that this is what they have to offer me? Like, I'm better than this. So,
And he totally is.
yeah.
I mean, the dude just continues to be awesome in the ring, no matter who his opponent is.
He dropped the yodeling gimmick.
I didn't have a big problem with the yodeling like a lot of people.
Well,
do.
yeah, but you know, it seems like he came out completely refocused. You know, like he came out just this strong, you know, eyes of death kind of stare. You know, came out, destroyed Zack Ryder, and was like, "Look, all kidding aside, I want competition."
Yeah.
Well, it feels like they're playing up to that because he was like, I challenged, you know, anybody to come out and, you know, fight me. And no, of course, no one did.
Yeah,
So it's probably going to be like it will probably run for a week or so with him making an open challenge, and eventually someone will answer.
primo, and
Moving on
Yeah.
up, man.
so hopefully we will see that build where he gets one of the the more main eventer guys.
Well, I don't see it being a top face. Seems like
No,
Sheamus is locked into a feud. Cena's, of course, locked into a feud.
Orton, and then
Yeah.
so many people are already tied up. But after
Well,
maybe after
I think
Extreme
eventually.
Rules, like he could go this
Well,
week.
It feels like Cena Ryback's going to be a thing for a while.
Yeah,
I would hope that Sheamus and Henry is a thing for a while. I mean, the angle itself has been abysmal, but
Let's say
from an in-ring standpoint, I think these guys offer a lot that I want to see.
also
Yeah.
Jericho's still locked in the feud with Fandango.
and he's also a part-time guy, so he's off and on. But yeah, I mean to help pass the time, I can see Cesaro going up against some of the mid card guys.
We ran through Miz.
Yeah,
Seemed like they wanted to do Truth, but they're not.
yeah.
Um,
They kind of have ended the Kofi thing,
yeah.
and then Zack Ryder. So like I said, he could probably go up against like Primo or Epico next week.
Well, maybe Del Rio. Well, I don't know. I kind of feel like Swagger and Del Rio has to keep going as well.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, even neither one of them wins, I feel like it still has to go. I was thinking maybe they could do Del Rio, Cesaro. That would be an upper echelon guy for him to feud with. That is not kind of locked in, but he is kind of locked in. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with him.
We'll see where they go. Hopefully they've got
They'll just
something
keep
good
having
for 'em.
awesome matches every week. What the fuck? Who cares?
Next up, we got to see Chris Jericho come out and let us know he's going to be the host of a, sort of a rate the dance moves of Fandango and R-Truth during their match, and with guest hosts Burtis Clay and Sweet Tea. What I liked about I was chuckling a little bit because Tensai held up a 10, Jericho held up a 10, and Burtis Clay's fumbling through the papers trying to look for the 10. He can't find it, so he just holds up a 2 and a 4.
They all fumbled through it a lot. It's like, look, guys, you're gonna put one low and one high, right next to each other. I mean,
put 1 at the bottom, 10 at the top, and we'll go in numbers from there. Yeah, I'll give you a 24. How about that?
Maybe
or
someone
42.
put him out there in a fucked up border or something. Who knows?
No joke.
Screw him up. Watch this.
We only have 10 numbers, so y'all have to pick a number between 1 and 10.
Just give him a 1 and a 10.
Yeah. So it's.
And then a whole bunch of blank pages. I don't know.
Yeah, and just scribble or something. Put random numbers.
This one. Keep flipping.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so R-Truth ends up defeating Fandango via countout after he was
None too impressed with being judged.
Yeah. Can't take the criticism.
And he got his old chick back.
Yep. I made the note of this on the Facebook page, but it feels like he started out and they would add something to his intro every single week, and now they've slowly taken everything away. Because he came in, he had the giant, they had the wooden floors, and then he had the pyro, and then he had the arch with the streamers on it, and all that was gone this week.
The big silhouette thingy.
Yeah, so
maybe it will be back.
Who knows? But yeah, just something to notice. But next
I think
up,
that kind of stuff is just intended to be like, this is a guy you need to pay attention to. It's like to help get a guy over. And
now it's like,
maybe they felt like, he's gonna get over with the whole fandangoing thing.
Yeah. With the foam fingers now that are on sale and the
Really?
T-shirt. Yeah.
When I brought my Danile Bryan yes ones, they didn't offer me 2 in a pack.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They should have had a yes and a no.
Yeah, no shit.
That would have been easier.
Well, the no is a completely different hand shape.
Yeah.
Like yes is this, but no is this.
And they could have it like upside down, so you have to put it like that for it to say no.
Yeah.
Shake your hands no.
I got you.
But who knows? Next up, we got to see Dolph Ziggler going up against Alberto Del Rio. This match ended up being a no contest because Jack Swagger decided to make his presence known and went at it with a ladder. It took out Ziggler, swinging for the fences on that one, and hit Del Rio as well. And Ricardo, yeah, that's right.
They first hit
Ziggler.
At first, it really looked like he hit him in the head, but from the second view, it did.
Kind of missed him a little bit, but Ziggler's good at selling it. So, but the match itself, Doug, what did you think about that?
I thought it was pretty solid. I think there were a lot of spots that were victim of Ziggler's over bumping again. Like, look, if you're just taking a hip toss, you don't need to give that really weird, like, we're trying really hard to make it look like I flip really hard.
Mm-hmm.
The hip toss looked like so like we're working together here, buddy, and it's gonna look cool. Like every spot doesn't need to be that. It detracts from the match for me.
And the spot they did on the top rope where Ziggler was facing the other way for like a superplex.
The one where like Del Rio kind of whiffed and landed on his head when he was going for the corner Izagiri.
Well, I mean, he did that. Like he was gonna go for the Enziguri and he like stopped midway and decided to punch. But after that, Ziggler's sitting on the turnbuckle, and
one they call in the game the Super Ninja, where he's on the turnbuckle and does like he flips over, and you know what I'm talking about.
It was kind of like a superplex, but Ziggler was facing the other way, and then he lifted him over his head. You remember that?
I don't remember the spot.
Okay. But yeah.
You guys feel like you're describing two different things, so I don't know which one I'm looking at.
And then his leg is all this way, and
I don't remember
it's
that.
kind of that way, So anyway, Ziggler and Del Rio ends up going into a no contest. I don't know. Like, I feel like they could do a little more with it without so many managers, because there are so many outside people, because there's 4 people outside the ring for this kind of matchup.
Well, you were praising it like last week or the week before, saying it. You thought it freshened things up.
Yeah, it was, because it was something that we hadn't seen with the side guys going at it.
It is kind of congested out there.
Yeah, if it, you're going to have a person on each side of the ring, basically. You can have AJ on one side, Big E, Zeb, and Ricardo. So it's just, I don't know. It's just, it feels a little too cluttered sometimes. Because it's like, just let these guys do their thing, and, but who knows. But backstage, we got to see another segment with Caitlyn and Natalia and the Funkadactyls talking about Caitlyn's secret admirer and how they're going to bring the Great Khali in to investigate.
Is it totally weird to me? Like, her secret admirer has her phone number because they're texting, but she doesn't know who it is.
And it's a blocked number.
That's weird, right?
Does that happen?
That can't happen.
How does that happen?
How do you get the number? Do you just write it on a piece of paper when you're sending your spiked hats? I don't know.
Well, hey, girl, what it do? Who is this? Oh.
Don't you worry. It's a secret admirer.
Yeah.
It's a secret rapey guy. Don't worry about it.
And I've got plenty more of those spiky hats in the back of my van.
When they're talking about Khali.
Come look at them.
Yeah. Okay.
Khali cracked me up.
What's it going to take for you to like me and trust me and get in the van with me?
I have ice cream.
Yeah, we got ice cream and candy and more.
Obviously,
spiky
like female listeners out there, young impressionable women, do not give your phone numbers to people you don't even know who they are. That's Creep City, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's the blocked number.
Yeah,
like don't respond to that.
Especially if he's giving you ugly ass spiked hats.
Spiky hats, and he knows where you live, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. So, but apparently the Bella twins.
That's our PSA for this week.
Yeah.
He's like, I got you $1.
You almost got it.
Oh, you got to reach for it. So,
that seems even creepier when applied to this situation. You got to reach for it. You got to reach.
Good job, Tyler. Way to make it creepier.
Yes.
So next up, we got to see the Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar video clip where they terrorized WWE headquarters.
Like a spiked hat on a fishing boat.
I got a hat for you. So and I liked the Doug is on the ground. Doug's down. He is the true definition of ROFL. Like he is on the ground right now. You all right, Doug? Yeah. Okay. So but I did like this concept because we know the existence of WWE headquarters. However, we haven't been inside the studios very often. They don't give us those inside looks, on Raw or SmackDown where they're like, oh, let's take a tour of WWE headquarters. So we got to see Brock Lesnar go inside,
SDX is painting like big cocks on it or something. Did they do that once?
Yeah, they did that, but that was from the outside.
True.
So we never really been inside the building before, and I like that. It's although there were.
So do they have like a mobile Andre statue that they take on tour with them and one at the front gate? Or it's got to be the same one.
Right? I would bet it's the same one. I think that was made for WrestleMania, and then they brought it to the headquarters.
That's really cool. I like that.
I do. That's really cool. I like the handprint as well.
They had those at Access for $25. The handprints.
Nice. So, but yeah, so you kind of get to see a glimpse of the goings on of WWE headquarters, and I like it. Like I said, it's something that we've never really seen before. So it's kind of curious as to what made them come up with that. They end up trashing Triple H's, and I'm using quotation marks, office for that one because those desks were way too flimsy. That looked like it was something bought at like IKEA that they kind of just threw together and like, well, let's make a makeshift office real quick.
Sponsors IKEA.
Yeah. Or it didn't seem like that. You would expect a better looking desk, like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, for sure. But do you think they're gonna let them smash up some real shit though?
No, but
They should.
I know, right?
Well, I mean, they've blown up cars for the fuck of it, so they might as well. How many cars have they blown up just for the fuck of it?
Concrete.
They've blown one up. They've run another one into a semi truck. They've had a monster truck go over some. They've
Okay.
dropped an iron beam on a car.
So I basically just they spray painted Orton's car. So I just basically reinforced your point. Point taken. Yeah, let them smash him real shit then. I guess. Okay.
They clearly have a budget for it.
I was clearly gonna counter argue you and be like, it's not really that
They
big of a
pulled
deal.
the axles out from the bottom of a car.
They spent a lot of money on some dumb shit. Yeah, let them smash the real office then. Yeah, okay.
What's one desk?
Point taken.
What's one desk? And
point taken.
I guess they don't want to have like Dell or Apple call them and be like, hey, what's this deal you smashing our monitors, man?
Product placement. They should get some cash for that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're gonna buy more? Okay, smash our stuff.
When Brock Lesnar goes on a rampage, he prefers smashing Apple. So.
Like how many fucking Coke Zeros did Scott Pilgrim drink? Like a lot. That's fucking product placement.
After Brock Lesnar smashes stuff, he eats Jimmy John's.
So he goes into the.
You notice how The Rock has an like the guys here coming in on
Under Armour? Yeah.
They got like their own sponsors, and then they get shirts printed on top of it. Like Rock's got an Under Armour one, like he was talking about. They don't sell it, but like it's his.
We got WNS podcast.
We do.
We do.
People want our shirts.
We're looking for an online store right now, gents.
Yeah.
Trying to. Well, I guess we could talk about that for a minute. We're trying to. International shipping is kind of a nightmare, and we're trying to work that out, and we're looking for the best way possible to make that available to all our listeners.
We can't send the drugs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Hang with us, though.
So yeah, be on the lookout for that. We're working on it, or Doug is. I'm not. I know Tyler's probably not. So
I'm brainstorming.
It's brainstorming. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're having a meeting.
We're putting our heads together.
He's got $1 for you.
Actually, if he keeps having dollars for me, then this will go a lot better.
Oh, you gotta be quick for it though. But but yeah, so Lesnar goes in and destroys Triple H's office. Throwing the TV that's not plugged in, breaking the laptop from 1993, and
let me interject because I did not notice that none of the stuff was plugged in.
Yeah.
The laptops don't have plugs, do they? You don't plug laptops.
If you're gonna charge it.
If you're gonna charge it, but maybe his was fully charged.
Yeah.
He's probably got a whole closet full of batteries. He'll just swap them and hose out.
And that TV came off that wall mount way too easily.
Oh, come on, Brock. Are you telling me that Brock couldn't rip a fucking TV off a wall?
I know he could, but I would expect some sort of damage to the wall. Pull the nails out.
It was obviously a fake wall. Like that black wall with the logo on it was obviously fake.
Kick it in and get his leg stuck in the wall.
Yeah. So, but I don't have any complaints about that. It's like I said on the Facebook page, it's kind of like watching a movie that you really like and you see the camera crew and the reflection. It's just like one of those little things. You're just like, they probably could have.
So
probably could have.
You could say that an F5 hurricane went through there.
Yeah.
You're trying too hard.
Yeah, you are.
You were money with the dollar thing. You were like,
See,
if you would have left it at the dollar thing, his confidence got really high. He was like, I'm gonna get another one in here.
Maybe we can make it 2 tonight. Yeah.
You should have stuck with the dollar and went out on the high note.
Would you say that he would need $1 to fix that?
Nope.
Good try though, Tyler.
I gotta fix all that with $1.
Several dollars.
Several.
So yeah, but it was made to make a point. And
I think the whole thing felt like really forced. Like, why did they even need to do that? Why was that even a thing that would cross someone's mind? I don't know.
I guess it's just,
And Triple H sold the whole thing. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
I've got 2 offices, and I'm standing in it right now. So I don't care about that office. You want to talk about Extreme? I know a thing or two about Extreme because I
was a founding father of DX.
DX, and
was in the Attitude Era, and I carried around a sledgehammer. One thing I loved about the internet is that, people were posting memes as far as, Lesnar trashing the office and stuff like that. Someone photoshopped the sledgehammer that was hanging on the wall into a shovel, and I absolutely loved it.
Why?
Because Triple H is known for burying people, so that's the shovel that he uses to do it instead of the sledgehammer.
Yep.
So, anyways, just want to give props on that one.
It just felt weird and forced, like something that they were trying to think of something to do, but they didn't really have a reason to do anything. Triple H,
10 minutes to kill.
I mean, Triple H undermined the whole fucking thing as soon as he got in the ring anyway, so it didn't
Trash
matter.
my office. I needed a new one. I didn't like that laptop. Meh. No, I don't have an iPad. Come on.
I don't know. Not for me, I guess.
So, whatevs. Anyways, next up we got to see The Shield going up against the Usos and Kofi Kingston.
It was nice.
Yeah?
To see Usos.
It was.
But it was just...
It was,
It was weird because I would think you would want to see the stuff that did happen, see 3 and B
yeah,
in there instead of them 3.
nothing
No
from
offense
now.
to Usos and Kofi, but
Yeah, no, it was nice it was a nice treat to see the Usos on there and, get to show what they can do because, I feel like they're a tag team that is not utilized at all. But, you put them up against the Shield, and I don't know what the fans are supposed to think during this after the Shield is beat down, all those, high names that they have beaten, and then you kind of just bring in someone who hasn't been on TV in, a few months or very sporadically, and expect them to get a win. So I'm not really sure what they were thinking. Maybe they're just like, oh, let's just throw them together and see if they can be the winning combination.
Well, I don't even think it was so much as they were. I don't even think they were intended to be presented as a threat. It was basically they were there as like enhancement talent. They were there to
show what the Shield can do.
Right.
Believe in the Shield. So Shield ends up getting the victory on that one. And next up, we got to see Caitlyn and the Funkadactyls going up against the Bella Twins and AJ. This was sort of a quick match. Broke down when the Bella Twins ditched AJ as she was trying to go for a tag.
Those catty ladies, man.
Yeah, you can't trust them.
They can't like each other.
Watch how sassy they can be on E.
Women hate each other. Why do all women hate each other?
I saw a quote that was pretty
bitches
funny.
be hated.
It was on radio, bitchin' radio. So
Bitchin' radio.
but I saw a quote online that made me chuckle a little bit. It was like, why do men want to understand women? Women understand women, and they hate each other. So what?
Tired, bro.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah. Women, they hate each other.
Bitches be crazy.
They hate each other, man.
So, but yeah, Caitlyn ends up getting the spear on AJ for the 1, 2, 3, and the fans are happy. Next up, we got to see Mark Henry come out. And
be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. In a minute, Sheamus is gonna come out and he's gonna beat his chest.
What?
He's gonna
Sheamus? What?
When Sheamus?
What? Y'all a bunch of puppets.
I love that line. That was awesome.
He's one of those guys who doesn't get shook though. He's just kind of like he'll talk slow and deliberate. Just like, fuck you, dude.
He's like, whatever, man.
I'm
I'm
a
just
big
gonna
bad
keep on
motherfucker. Shut up.
So, he joined on commentary, and I love the fact that he gave credit to JBL. He was like, JBL, you're the only one over here doing your job. And
well, no, I don't necessarily think he was like giving like a wink and a high five to JBL. I think he was just playing his part because he was digging on Cole. He kept telling him to shut up, and he was like, JBL, carry this like you always do.
Yes. And, I love that about Mark Henry because he's gotten on commentary before and, Cole will ask him like stupid questions. He's like, what does this have to do with this match? What does this have to do with anything that I'm out here for? Don't waste my time like that. And I love the fact that he did that for JBL. I was like, carry him like you always do. And
I mean, I really don't think it was like a secret nod to JBL. I really just think it was Big Bad Heel giving props to the heel commentator. But
yeah. And then
Henry just is one of those guys who gets it. He knows his role. He knows what to do, and he plays it to perfection.
And he threw off his headset and scooted his chair away. So, but yeah, during the match, Sheamus and Wade Barrett end up fighting to the outside and almost get thrown into Mark Henry. Mark Henry gets startled a little
bit. He he acted like he was gonna throw it into him, like just to make him jump.
Yeah.
Henry fell out of his chair.
People laughed at Henry. He fell. So, and then Sheamus ends up getting the victory over Wade Barrett. And then Henry decides to attack Sheamus, and not with just anything, but with a leather strap. and man, he wailed into him.
Well, what happened was is after they did the spot where Henry fell out of his chair or whatever, and he like faked him out, Henry was pissed off and he's like,
yeah,
I'm going to go beat his ass now. And then Sheamus did the brogue kick, which knocked him out.
mm-hmm.
Well, not out, but he knocked him down. He was down and he was getting, like the doctors were like attending to him. And as he was getting up, he pulled the belt off of one of the doctors.
Oh, I
Did
didn't
you see that on the replay? Like, he didn't just have a belt around with him.
I was
like,
wondering where he got
he was
that.
like, he was getting up after the brogue kick and he just like ripped the belt off of the guy.
Huh.
Nice.
So it wasn't just a belt laying around, which I think is kind of cool that he was like,
that belt.
It makes it seem like so much more subtle. He was just like, oh, that's why they're going to have a strap match, because as he was getting up, he's just like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to beat the shit out of his belt.
That's awesome. And man, he laid into
he did,
to Sheamus. Like, you know, I want to say he didn't hold back, but I don't know, just because he's so strong. But did you guys see?
Sheamus looks like a guy who can take a
Yeah, I mean, he can take it. So, but did you guys see the picture from earlier today with the marks that they took on his back?
I mean, I'm sure it hurt like hell. Like, I've been spanked with a belt before. That ain't come out right. As a child, I was as a child.
You were disciplined as a child.
I was disciplined with a belt before.
That was 8 years ago. That wasn't recently.
And that hurt then. I was like, I imagine that. Yeah, like imagine Mark Henry beating the fuck out of your ass with a belt.
No thanks.
But like, I don't know, like I don't know if you guys like caught SmackDown where they had the arm wrestling contest where again Sheamus was just a total bully and is like faked him out and just punched him in the face right off of it. I mean, not working for me.
No,
that's what babyfaces do.
That is what babyfaces do. They attack randomly for
again, not to holy shit, that's the thing?
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of he can take it, is he took it. So
we should post that on our page.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll post the picture for people to check out, and you know, you can let us know what you think, because it was pretty heavy. So
it's like an all-encompassing receipt for all the dudes who had to take the chest things and the ropes.
Yeah.
No, but that sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal to look at. So, but yeah, so Sheamus ends up defeating Wade Barrett, and Henry decides to lash out on Sheamus.
Are we gonna see that, you think, this Saturday? How fast does those go away?
I don't know, a few days maybe. They'll probably be gone by then, by Saturday. That's 6 days.
Oh no, let's find out, Aber. Take your shirt off.
I'm running.
You do have a belt.
Oh shit!
There you go. So
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of your ass with
that'll be a new tout for us, right? Something for us to finally tout.
Yeah, you ready?
God,
Get your camera ready, dude.
Yeah, all right, cool. So the main event, we got to see Ryback going up against Kane. And what I liked about it was earlier in the night backstage, you know, Danile Bryan was asked, you know, how he was holding up after he got attacked by the Shield, and after his match against Ryback on SmackDown. Which, by the way, the match on SmackDown between Danile Bryan and Ryback
was awesome.
Yeah, it was a really good match. So if you have it on DVR, definitely rewatch that one or watch it. You know, give that one a watch. You know, Ryback comes in and, you know, makes a threat against Danile Bryan, saying it doesn't matter. I'll beat you down again if I have to. And
Bryan cut a cool promo about how he wasn't going to get held down by like what happened. You know, he's going to challenge Ryback again.
Yeah, and so Kane ends up coming in to say, you know, if you know,
Ryback blew him off.
Yeah, and so
because he wasn't half the man Ryback was, even healthy. And then Kane said, "What about me? You think I'm not half the man you are?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
that's
and what kind of joked that, you know, in my head about was you know, Danile Bryan's looking up at Ryback, and then Ryback turns around and he's looking up at Kane, and then in the background you see Danile Bryan like way down here. So it's just a size different. It's, you know, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so we get to see Ryback going up against Kane. And this match, you know, ended the way that it should, with Ryback looking strong, getting the victory over Kane.
Let me tell you what I didn't like about this match.
Okay.
A lot of guys in the WWE have like this horrible concept of like what style of match they need to work for the stipulation or the conditions or the reasons they're having a match. Like prime example, with the exception of Danile Bryan, it seemed like every time they do a beat the clock challenge, guys are just working regular matches. It doesn't feel like anybody's going for a quick pinfall. Well, this is like this was like an emotionally charged. This wasn't like a scheduled match that was supposed to happen. This was two guys got beef with each other. They got into an emotional confrontation backstage, and that's the reason they're having for a match. So they want to beat each other up. They want to hurt each other. But Kane went for like 2 really fast pinfalls, which kind of negates the whole thing of like getting emotional and like angry, and that's why you're having the match. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If that makes fine sense if you're just a scheduled match, you're just trying to win, but I don't get that. He went for 2 really super early pinfalls without doing much damage at all, and I don't get that. Like, it feels like someone needs to be like, hey guys, this wasn't just like a scheduled match. You guys are mad at each other, so this should be more of a fight and less of a you're just trying to win a match. Or someone should like tell these guys this stuff, you know? Because not a whole lot of them seem to have a good grip on like.
Well, it's not that they should be told; it's that they should know.
Well, right.
You know,
but I'm just saying, like somebody somewhere should be like, what the fuck, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's like you've got a submission match coming up. Why don't you work an ankle or a knee or something?
just feels like weird. I don't know.
Who knows? But Ryback ends up getting the victory over Kane, and then the Shield comes down and is looking to start some trouble, and Danile Bryan comes in to make the save. John Cena comes in.
Kane was like prone in the ring, so Bryan came out to make sure Kane didn't get fucked with.
Yeah.
Ryback kind of like showed ass and like escaped to the barrier where he had his, he could see everyone and was close to a chair, and then Cena came out and helped to make it sure it was him and Bryan versus Shield.
Mm-hmm. So, and I forgot what happened after that.
Bryan hit a big dive to the outside.
That's right.
Cena went for an F5, but Ryback got in the chair and hit him. Got in the ring with a chair and like knocked him over. Like he didn't
F5?
get the F5. He had someone up and attitude adjustment. You know what I mean?
F
Attitude,
you.
yeah. Oh yeah, F you. Right. I'm fucking up.
Got Lesnar on the brain.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah.
Got $1 for you.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like shit. I can't talk now. There's no way I can talk now.
Okay, so that's how we close it out. Like I said, as we build up 1 week closer to Extreme Rules WWE pay-per-view, got just one hot topic for you guys this week. The WWE is actually going to be coming to our hometown, our area, Beaumont. So we're going to be going and check that out. Beaumont.
We're not giving you a live report.
Beaumont.
No.
What? No, we're not?
Nope.
Okay. I might.
Eh.
No? Okay.
Fuck 'em.
All right. Well, cool. So there you go. So hopefully we'll get to go and enjoy. Maybe we can go to Cracker Barrel and
They
meet
have
up
a lot
with
of
some guys. Or...
what is reported. A lot of people.
We should stake out Cracker Barrel.
for Ryback. He can't resist a Cracker
Oh
Barrel.
shit! I gotta work that day. Oh, that sucks. We should have. That'd be awesome.
Or maybe we could pull one after the show and go to maybe Chili's, and one Danile Bryan may walk in.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
They have card is subject to change, but they got what's reported. They got a lot of good people coming up there.
Yeah, for us, the reported main event is going to be John Cena and Sheamus,
Card subject to change,
of course, versus Ryback and Mark Henry. Tag team championship match, Team Hell No versus The Shield. United States championship match, Kofi Kingston versus Antonio Cesaro. And it's saying plus Chris Jericho versus Fandango. So who knows if we'll get to see Y2J in action in Beaumont. So hopefully we'll get to go see them. So
It'll be fun.
hopefully get to go have some fun. You can probably take that or something.
I'm gonna take that.
Okay. so there you go.
You're listening to a special interview segment for the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Okay, folks, joining us on the show this week from Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, the one and only Ruthless, Ryan Davidson. Mr. Davidson, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Every single time somebody says Ruthless Ryan Davidson, there's like a little tingle that goes through my body because, it's just, it sounds so damn good. And, You can say it one more time if you feel like it.
Ruthless.
Cornerstone.
Ruthless Ryan Davidson.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. So welcome to the show. We certainly do appreciate you coming on. Getting ready for Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, going to be taking place this Saturday, 16511 Diana Lane in Houston, Texas. It's going to be the second pay-per-view that's going to be available for the fans.
That's right. That's right. The second pay-per-view, of course, exclusively on feed.com, for $2.99 a month. You can go ahead and check out exclusive matches, not just the pay-per-view, but definitely some classics from the years past of, all the past, present, Booker T, PWA stars, Booker T, RW stars, and, of course, rare matches that you see, top names in the business. I'm talking matches of, Bobby Lashley, CM Punk, Booker T, of course, himself, the Dudley Boys, Jay Lethal, MVP, you name it. Just about anybody, the who's who, has definitely been come and go through Booker T's organization, man. So it's definitely worth the $2.99, I promise you.
Very nice. But getting ready for this Saturday, the scheduled matches, you will be taking on American Eagle in a last man standing match.
I really feel like, this is what has to happen. This guy, American Eagle, let's not, beat around the bush. The guy's talented. The people love him. That's great. I, on the other hand, am the exact opposite. I hate him. I can't stand him. He acts like a giant bird. I don't get it. It is what it is. He's got lucky in the past and what have you, first of all, if my shoulders get into the mat, it's a rare occurrence, and it comes with a price. So the way I look at it is that, when I won my match to create the stipulation for the pay-per-view, I really had no choice. I figured that the last man standing match was the best stipulation to make an example out of the American Eagle. And I know May 11th it will be no different, man. So if anybody's in that area, Clear Lake, Diana Lane, May 11th, bell time I believe is 7:30. Get on down there, man, because if you're not there, you're missing out. Period. And of course, v.com. If you can't be there in person, $2.99. Just pay up. It's worth it.
So a bear always beats an eagle, right?
A bear not just beats an eagle; he eats an eagle, and that's exactly. I'm just gonna rip his wings off, deep fry him, because bears love deep fried food, and we'll just go ahead and just devour the eagle as fast as possible. Because don't get me wrong, the kid's talented. We're gonna see how tough he is. Because the one thing that's never been done in Booker T's organization, whether it was PWA or ROW, there's never been a last man standing match.
Very cool.
And this is going to be the absolute first one, and I'm definitely going to set the bar for anybody else that has the cojones to try and go ahead and step into that demographic of a wrestling match as far as the last man standing, because it's definitely anything goes. There's no limits whatsoever, and I'm excited just talking about it. To be honest with you, I just can't wait. So,
very cool stuff. Certainly looking forward to that one. Also scheduled matches. Adrian Cristiano, Gustavo Mendoza, and Sergey Volkov will go up against TJ Lewis, Brian Keys, and special guest Mysterious Q.
With this match, besides, of course, obviously, my match, this is another one that I'm extremely excited for numerous reasons. One, ticket purchase is definitely worth the hard-earned dollar when it comes to Gustavo Mendoza, Adrian Cristiano, and Sergey Volkov, because in my opinion, they're, besides myself, one of the three most talented guys on that roster. And they definitely get their point across each and every show. But, another reason, and we've had our disputes in the past and what have you, but it's nothing but pure respect. Mysterious Q. If nobody's seen this guy in person, it's that alone is worth the ticket price. This guy's incredible. He is a quality athlete, man. The guy can do anything. He can be anything. And he's definitely worth the watch. So I'm definitely excited to see that match for sure.
Absolutely. And the main event is going to be a winner of a 15-man battle royale going up against current ROW champion, the Hammer, Jasper Davis.
The Hammer. Yeah, he's more like the Plunger. I always call him the Plunger. I don't call him the Hammer. So, Hammer, you got to be hard, you got to be tough, and all that jazz. And he's a Plunger because, quite frankly, all he does is suck up a bunch of crap and make sure it flows pretty well. So, that's my opinion. But, I mean, other than that, he's the heavyweight champion for a reason. I always give Jasper Davis a hard time. So it is what it is. But it's definitely worth the watch as well. I mean, the whole show from A to Z, it doesn't matter if it's opening match or definitely the main event. Every show is worth watching. It's, we did a real good job of Christmas Chaos back in December. We definitely had some very high-quality matches on that card. It will be no different on May 11th, and in my opinion, it's actually going to be a better show than the one we had in December, by far.
Absolutely. Certainly looking forward to that one.
Yeah, definitely.
If we could go back a little bit to the beginning of your career, I know, like, in this infamous online video that I saw about you and some stuff that happened backstage at the WWE, you mentioned how you broke in Amarillo. So are you originally from Amarillo?
Be honest with you, and I'm going to clarify this because I kid you not, Adrian Jones is one of the announcers for Booker T ROW, and I love the guy to death, but I am like 2 comments away from knocking all his teeth out. I am not from Oklahoma. I can't stand Oklahoma. I hate the Sooners. I hate everything about Oklahoma. And I'm from Houston, Texas, born and raised. And I made my break in Amarillo. I got through playing college football at West Texas A&M University. Make a long story short, met with a guy that I had a class with. Always been a wrestling fan. Always been a huge, almost an obsessive wrestling fan ever since I was about 12 years old. And had a guy in one of my college classes, and he dropped a wrestling reference. I dropped one right back. He told me about an organization in Amarillo, and the rest is history. Definitely started at the bottom of the barrel. If you don't know what the bottom of the barrel is in the wrestling business, I broke into a wrestling ring that was on a outdoor go-kart track off the side of the freeway in Amarillo, Texas.
Wow.
That is how bottom of the barrel you can get in the wrestling business, and that's where I broke in. But I loved it. I mean, from the moment I've stepped foot, of course, in an actual wrestling ring, I could not describe the feeling. I know it sounds cheesy and cliche and blah, 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 whatever, but it's honesty, and I definitely don't take this business for granted. I definitely don't take wrestling or anything in general for granted. I soak everything up as much as I possibly can because you never know. One day, you'll be doing a match like you've been doing, and the next day it could be gone. So that's always one thing I keep reminding myself. But other than that, yeah, Amarillo, Texas, broke in there, traveled around the country, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Florida, Ohio, Colorado, Illinois, just to name a few. Made my traveling around the country and what have you, and trying to soak up and gain as much knowledge as possible.
Any of the old time guys from the territory days of Amarillo are hanging around when you got your start, or?
Well, not exactly when I got my start. Of course, when I was about a year and a half in, I met a few Amarillo legends. Of course, I'll never forget the first time that I've met the one and only Terry Funk at a McDonald's in Canyon, Texas.
Nice.
And it was very interesting because, to be honest with you, before I can say anything to him, he came up to me and goes, "You play football, don't you?" And I was, "You wrestle, don't you?" It was a very funny moment. Of course, I later did a show with Terry Funk and got one of the biggest compliments I could in my wrestling career. I had a cage match that night against one of my favorite opponents of my career is a guy by the name of Tyler Bateman. He actually wrestles out in Southern California right now. We had a cage match, and Terry Funk came up to me, and he said, and I'll never forget it, he said, in all my years of wrestling, that's one of the best cage matches I've ever seen.
Nice.
And coming from a guy like him, especially a cage match, when you're about 2-3 years in, for him to say something like that, I mean, I didn't really know how to take it. So, but I mean, that's definitely something I won't forget, and I definitely appreciate. But as far as the old timers in the business, the legends and what have you, I've met a few, including the one and only Dennis Stamp. If anybody knows who Dennis Stamp is,
was he booked was he booked, or it was a coincidence?
Was he booked? No, he was not. But it just I've met the guy personally, and think he's a nice guy, what have you, and and it was quite an experience because it was funny because I just probably about a month beforehand I watched Beyond the Mat for the first time. Then I met the guy, and
I feel so terrible seeing that.
I'm sorry?
You just feel so terrible seeing him on Beyond the Mat when he's like, I'm not booked.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I kind of wanted to ask him a few questions about the trampoline training, like that he pretty much likes to get ready for, what have you, see if I can, use that in my regiment. But I was just like, yeah, maybe next time. So it is what it is.
Very cool. So you've definitely made your rounds on the independent circuit. We've seen you numerous times at Booker T's show, as well as here in Gulf Coast, now Hurricane Pro.
TSW.
Hurricane Pro.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. Oh, my God. Maybe so many initials that I can't even believe it. It was like GCPPW/RWKXW/professional wrestling.
Well, now they've shortened it up a little bit.
You know what? To be honest with you, I've wrestled in almost every organization in Texas, more than one occasion. And I got to say, besides Booker T's, Hurricane Pro, or formerly known as Gulf Coast Power Pro Wrestling, is definitely one of my favorite organizations. It's a great locker room, great environment, and what have you. And I definitely enjoy doing the shows and definitely enjoy being a part of that company.
And you certainly know how to work a crowd, that's for sure, because you have this, distinct ability to go into any room and have the entire crowd. Like, most people who portray the heel can get some people booing them and hating them, and then there's always those smart people who are like, oh, I'm going to cheer him because he's the bad guy. No, you get every single person in that building to hate you.
So natural.
Right. Well, like I said, being a douchebag, it's years and years of experience to perfect the art. So, it is what it is. But I definitely appreciate the compliment. The one thing that I believe the wrestling fan should always experience at every wrestling show is that they should be a part of every match as much as possible. And that's definitely a goal of mine. I don't, of course, focusing on the match and focusing on, of course, winning the match, because that's what it's all about, is always number one. But then again, you got to give the fans their money's worth. You really, really do. And if they don't show up, then you don't wrestle, because, that's just basically how it is. So I like to incorporate every single person in that crowd into my match as much as possible. Sometimes too much. And then I get yelled at by Booker T, and then there you go. So, but it is what it is. But other than that, man, the only thing that I try to do each and every night is just make sure that people remember who I am. People be entertained by my match, whether they love me or hate me, and everything's all hunky-dory.
Let me get your take on this, because I'm a guy who feels like the face and heel dynamics are like extremely important in wrestling. Like almost like you have to have face heel dynamics, and there just seems like there's a new breed of fan who like wants to holler like shades of gray, and they kind of like their baby faces doing like smarmy stuff, and they kind of like them kind of acting like bullies sometimes, and like they just holler like shades of gray because that's the real world. And like I maintain the opinion that like I want my baby faces like good guys, like I want my heels to be the bad guys. I think it's very important. What's your take on all that, and the kind of new breed of fan who wants it a little muddier than maybe traditionally?
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. Wrestling always evolves. And when wrestling evolves, so do the fans. And the fans' perception and the fans' decision, of course, to cheer for who they want to cheer and boo who they want to boo. And, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. If you want to cheer for your baby faces and you want them to do things that you would like to see them to do, and, of course, your heels, you want to boo them, because they're doing things that you do not want them to do. And it gets on your nerves and it gets under your skin, and that's really that's the whole art of it right there. But as far as a heel, from my perspective, or what have you, when you're getting somebody to hate you, when you're getting somebody to dislike you, first of all, it's the easiest thing to do. It doesn't take much to try and get under somebody's skin. Whether it's just giving them a smirk look or, blowing kisses at them, and they don't like that, whatever. That's always funny to me, because I just like to see a reaction like that. But, other than that, it just, being a heel, it's just one thing and one thing only. You have to do whatever it takes to make sure that a fan does not like you. And if that means you have to be kind of bland and be kind of boring, oh well. At least you're getting the job done, because the job done is, there's a lot of guys that are heels that want to go in there and they want to do the cool moves. They want to do, I got to get this in, and a backbreaker and a power bomb to the head or whatever, anything like that. To me, that's not your job. Your job is to get booed. Your job is to be hated. the babyface's job, of course, is to get cheered, and a lot of guys actually misconstrue that. They really don't let that soak into their brain, and to me, that's what separates you from being, just an average Joe on an indie show to a guy that has the potential to make it to the big leagues. You know what I mean? And that's the way I take it.
Very cool. And speaking of the big leagues, you've actually made a few appearances on Raw, not necessarily as a highlight of the show, but you have made a few appearances on there. You've been security guard a time or two. We happen to notice that.
I have.
Take us through your experience. They say they give you a call, you head up there. Take us through the time you walk into the building.
Well, first and foremost, I mean, an experience that is a complete understatement as far as being a part of a WWE program. It's a wonderful, wonderful time. It's pretty nerve-wracking, but also exciting also at the same time. And it's definitely a privilege. One thing that you never want to forget as far as being a part of that environment, part of that locker room or what have you. You always want to make it sure in a confident way, not an arrogant way. You need to feel like that you belong. A lot of guys, when they get back there, it's an intimidating environment. I mean, you get guys that, I'm about 6'3", 260 pounds, and there's guys that make me look like a kid. Yeah. Walking around, just
Yeah.
I mean, they could eat me if they wanted to, So it's a very intimidating thing. But like I said, you have to have some confidence in yourself to realize that hey, you're here for a reason. When they call you, they know that you're worth checking out. You are worth being paid attention to, and that's definitely more than what it could be. And it's definitely a great experience, man. And one thing is, a lot of guys don't like to admit this being in the wrestling business, but I will always and forever be a fan, and it's a very surreal moment to where, you walk in the back and you see guys that you grew up watching, and you actually get to meet them. Let alone, even better, you get to get in the ring with them. Like, I'll never forget the time I got to get in the ring with Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, guys like that, and you're just sitting there going, wow, I'm actually rolling around with the Iceman. This is pretty insane, and it sounds cheesy, but I mean, it's surreal, and it's definitely a great feeling, but of course, you got to keep it professional. It's a wonderful experience, and I have a great time each and every time that I go. And in fact, the last time I was there, I got to punch Sheamus in the head, and that was awesome.
Very cool. So
I've also seen you get pie-faced by Kevin Nash there. How was that?
You know what? Yeah, I it wasn't just pie-faced by Kevin Nash. I met him in the back, and he went ahead, and before I could introduce myself, he goes, "Oh, Little Big Show, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to punch you." Because if I had $1 for every single time somebody says that I've looked like the Big Show coming up in my career, I probably would have bought the WWE from Vince McMahon. How wealthy I would have been. So I don't see it, but apparently a lot of people do. That's cool. It ain't no big deal. I'm over it. But, pie face by Kevin Nash, oh, Lord. Numerous different things. I've actually had, I wouldn't say a dark match, but I did actually get to have a full-length match with one Alex Riley in front of the entire WWE locker room, which was pretty nerve-wracking to say the least, but it turned out to be a pretty good match and what have you. And, Alex Riley, I mean, I know he's not seen a lot on WWE television lately, but the guy is definitely talented, that's for sure. So that was a good experience. And, of course, numerous different experiences, getting in with guys that, like I say, you see on TV on a daily basis, and you learn a lot, and that's basically the best thing about being a part of the, WWE show and what have you. It is, it's like going to school. You just try and soak up as much knowledge and pointers and what have you as you can. And at the same time, it's like a job interview because you never know. They could see something in you that they could be like, well, would you like to move to Tampa in 2 weeks? Yes, I would.
Let me just go ahead and pack up. I went ahead and packed all my stuff in my car so I can just drive there today.
Exactly. Not a problem.
And we have heard a story regarding you being, working with some of the WWE guys, before a show and stuff like that. It was from a few years ago, and I feel compelled to ask, what's the International?
The international spot that is ridiculous. It is asinine, but you know what? It is buried in my brain forever. That is a very good, funny story. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that was definitely an experience, to say the least, and it's actually a funny one. I don't know. I guess I'm compelled to tell this story on the radio show, and I guess I will. So Bill DeMott, I don't know if you guys know who Bill DeMott is, obviously. Hugh Morris, WCW, what have you. You guys know about him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill DeMott, gotcha. Anyways, so, of course, SmackDown, it was in Dallas, Texas, I believe 2010 or 2011, I believe. I don't know. It's one of those years. Anyways, went ahead and got the privilege to get in the ring with Bill DeMott, and he wanted to see a few different scenarios and a few different situations in the ring that we'd go over with, what have you. And I was actually in the ring with one Gustavo Mendoza, who is one of my favorite opponents and guys to be around with in the wrestling business. The guy has a wrestling mind like nobody's. He thinks of things that nobody else thinks of. I mean, he is phenomenal at what he does. Anyways, so we're in the ring. We are wrestling competitively back and forth, and Bill DeMott likes what he sees, and everything's great. And then, of course, he asks the infamous question, or not a question, but he makes the infamous statement, do the international. For the life of me, I had no idea what that was, because the first thing that came to mind was like, what, House of Pancakes? Like, what is this guy talking about? National? I don't. The hell is that? And the whole time Gustavo's trying to, under his breath, it's and I can't hear a word he's saying. And I'm like, what? And that's all it took for Bill DeMott to it was like a shark smelling blood in the water. It was just, oh my God, do you not know? And to be honest with you, it's a spot that has been done numerous. It's one of those, early spots you learn as a rookie, and I've done this spot a gazillion times, but I never heard it be called the international. It was always called the universal or the dummy spot or what have you. And actually, when he asked me if I knew what that spot was, I go, oh, the dummy spot. He goes, the dummy spot. So it's like, well, here, let me just keep burying this hole. Obviously, you're not going to like me at all, and that's fine. So pretty much after about a good 5-6 minute verbal bashing from Bill DeMott, which is fine, that doesn't really bother me all that much at all. It's just one of those things that, in the wrestling business, whether you like it or not, or whether you realize it or not, you're always tested. And attitude is everything in the wrestling business. And if you have a bad attitude, it shows. If you have a great attitude, it shows. And great attitude will go a long way. So, fortunately enough for me, I had a great attitude and took it like a champ. But the funny thing was about it is that after the whole nightmare was over with pretty much, and I just pretty much got verbally bashed in front of everybody in the WWE locker room, he pretty much pulled me to the side later on in the night, and to make a long story short, all it was very complimentary and told me how not a lot of guys would have taken the verbal bashing like I did. And to be honest with you, every single time he sees me, he says, hey, Ryan, how you doing, type thing, and it's nothing but smiles and a good time. So it is what it is. But don't get me wrong, each time I have a wrestling match and I don't feel like doing the international, I don't call it the international anymore. I call it the DeMott spot, and will never forget it. In fact, sometimes I scream DeMott while I do it. So just happen at the next show. If you hear me say DeMott, you should know what's coming.
Nice. Very cool stuff. So, yeah. Going back into wrestling itself, you portraying the heel, working the indie shows and stuff like that. What's like the rowdiest crowd you've been in with? Because you get on the mic and you'll say just about whatever it takes to get the crowd, in a frenzy. I mean, even resorting to telling them to go fist themselves.
Yeah, the rowdiest crowd. I mean, there's been hundreds and hundreds of crowds that have that have been extremely rowdy, especially in the state of Texas. A lot of guys are wondering as far as the indie level or what have you, as far as what level Texas wrestling's on. It's definitely on one of the highest as far as around the country. And that definitely goes with the fans, because the fans are definitely rowdy and they want to be entertained. But I'll tell you what, the most rowdy crowd that you can actually compete in front of is anybody that is in any kind of similarity with the military. If you wrestle around a bunch of soldiers, they are the most fun to poke fun at and what have you. And I have had the best time. One show in particular that I can think of was, let's see here. Oh yeah, it was, I believe it was, what was this show called? Texas All-Star. We were in Nacogdoches. I think it was called Rumblemania or something like that, or what have you. I don't know. It was back, I believe, about a year or two ago. I was wrestled Rockstar Robbie in a singles match, and I got on the mic and was pretty much ripping the crowd into shreds and all the kids and what have you, to the point that they were throwing batteries at me. And that was pretty interesting because I already got hit with a battery before, So I was just like, all right, well, you guys could F off. So right on. But I'll never forget that Rockstar Robbie was building momentum in the match. He goes to hit the ropes. I give him a very, very sadistic spine buster, which completely derailed his momentum. And as I stood up to pretty much circle around the ring to get a reaction from the crowd, I'll never forget it. There was a woman, an old lady, that pretty much looked like she could have been Skeletor's mother. She was pushing 180 for sure. She had a cane in her left hand, and I just looked at her. I just stared at her, and she literally struggles and has every ounce of energy that she could possibly muster up to get up out of her chair. She even puts her other hand on the gentleman that was sitting next to her shoulder to make sure that she could stand up, and with all her might, she just lifted her right arm and gave me the middle finger that I will never forget.
That's awesome.
My entire life. And let me tell you something, that is completely worth it. To have little old Ethel tell you to F off, and it's great. Yes. So, definitely rowdy crowds are really, really fun to work. Military people are definitely fun to work. They're passionate. They're having their arm in arm. All they want to do is be entertained just like anybody else, and it's a good time.
Very cool. Well, we certainly do appreciate you coming on. Best of luck to you in your match against American Eagle. Again, it's going to be Booker T's Reality of Wrestling this Saturday, 16511 Diana Lane in Houston, Texas. You can go to feed.com/Booker T for more info on that. Ruthless Ryan.
Well, before we let you go, please feel free to plug anything you want to plug, like Twitter, Facebook, anything like that.
Yeah, well, let's see here. Twitter. My Twitter is at the letter RD Bear 57. 57, of course, is my college football number. Ruthless Ryan Davidson, of course, I'm a Bear. That's pretty much what it is.
Big bad
if
bear.
you get on the Twitter, hit me up, what have you. The more people that hit me up, the more that I will use it, because I'll be honest with you, I should be using my Twitter a lot more. And I'm trying to grasp that fact as much as possible. But other than that, you can hit me up on Twitter, of course, on Facebook. Of course, if anybody's friends with Rockstar Robbie or any other members of the roster from Booker T's ROW or Texas All-Star Wrestling or Jared Steele's PWA or, of course, now Hurricane Pro, they can go ahead and add me on Facebook. And, like I said, feed.com. If anybody wants to check out some very rare, good quality matches from, like I said, the who's who of wrestling, of course, with Booker T ROW superstars, and guys that you see on TV every single week that actually compete against guys like us, it's definitely worth the $2.99 more than anything. To be honest with you, we should be charging $9.99 because these matches are great. It's no BS about it, man. It's definitely worth it. So you can definitely check that out. And May 11th, Booker T's ROW. Mayday Melee, Ryan Davidson versus American Eagle, last man standing match, first one ever. So if you definitely can't make it out in person, definitely check out feed.com.
Very cool. Ruthless Ryan Davidson, it's certainly been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on, and we'll check you later.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all don't work too hard, man. Y'all stay safe. I appreciate the time. Thank you guys for having me on.
Oh,
thanks,
no problem.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Ryan.
Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
And we certainly do appreciate having Ruthless Ryan Davidson on.
Good dude. Nice to have him on.
Going out there and support Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Check them out on Facebook, Reality of Wrestling, and all that. And time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions and our answers. First question coming to us from Thomas. Drop it low, son.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Saying, hey, guys. saying, hey guys, at the start of the year, I decided 2013 to be the year I slimmed down. I've been using a mixture of diet and home-based exercise to lose 42 pounds
Holy
since
shit, that's
January. So definitely congratulations on
Fuck,
that.
man, that's
Congrats,
awesome,
man.
dude.
But recently, I decided to join a gym to boost the weight loss. I go at least 3 times a week, wearing my WNS podcast shirt naturally.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Good call. However, I've been struggling to form a playlist of
Fit
workout
and
songs.
fashionable.
So I'm asking, what songs would you recommend to help me get pumped?
Eye of the Tiger.
Let's do 3 apiece then or something. Well, that's a little mini playlist. That'll get you through like 20 minutes of cardio or something. Let's do 3 songs apiece.
Okay.
Go, Aber.
What's that song? It's like you're the best around.
Nothing you can do can keep me down.
Okay. Final Countdown by Europe.
Of course. It has to do it in everything that's music related.
Uh,
And Eye of the Tiger. Right?
no,
No?
they're all like in the same. No.
All right.
Training montage.
Man. We need a montage! Montage!
Night the Roxbury's.
I mean, if that's what you work out to, man, you go right ahead.
me,
I-
him, me.
Okay, how about you, Doug?
I'm going to say The Hold Steady, Constructive Summer. I'm going to say UGK featuring Outkast, International Players Anthem. I'm going to say Jawbreaker, Boat Dreams from the Hill. Maybe I got another. I could probably throw another one out there. The New Pornographers, Sing Me Spanish Techno.
Okay. I think you have to go with the classics, you know, I don't remember
that.
I don't remember
classics.
exactly the yeah, no, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. No. No classicals. But you know, you've got your Sandstorm, your Zombie Nation. I don't know, like there's an artist I listen to all the time whenever you get in that sort of pumped up mood. And that would be The Fat Rat. It's all together, The Fat Rat. You can go to soundcloud.com/thefatrat and check out some of the music he's got. A lot of the music you can download for free, or I can email it to you, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, so I would recommend some of that. A lot of fast tempo music is what you want to have.
Oh, you know, it's really cool that I just heard the other day or last week sometime. I've been listening to it at work a lot lately. Some dude, I guess his name is like Too Mellow or something like that. Have you guys heard the Chrono Jigga stuff where they took the Jay-Z stuff and they mixed it with the music from Chrono Trigger, the game?
No.
It's pretty awesome. You can probably Google, this is not my answer for your workout music. We were talking about music, so I threw this out there. If you Google Chrono Jigga instead of
That's awesome.
Chrono Trigger, it's out there. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Very cool.
This one thing that's popped in my head. It's a new song that just came out. Light 'Em Up by Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. It's my songs Know What You Did in the Dark.
Oh, okay.
Parentheses, light them up. But yeah. So yeah, that's a good one to listen to as well. So, but thanks for the question, Thomas. Congratulations on the 42 pounds. Best of luck. Hope you get
That's
many
super
more.
awesome,
away.
dude.
That
I need to lose about 20 myself.
I could stand to lose about 50 pounds. That'd be good. Next question, or final question, coming to us from Victor.
Victor.
Saying, hey guys, I'm having a bit of trouble finding work. First off, that sucks, and we hope you find something soon. I always call back places I've applied for, only for them to tell me that to wait for their call, and then I get nothing. It's been bothering me for quite a bit, so I thought I'd listen to the show last week to chill out, and I started thinking, how long did it take you guys to get the jobs you have now, and what was your first ever job? So,
My first ever job, I think I was 16. I worked at Super Kmart, and I was like a cart pusher or a buggy boy.
ooh, fun.
And basically, just like assholes just kind of roll their carts around when they're done in the parking lot. And you have to like round them up and like push them back into the store. But it's like never ending, continuous. Like your job's never done because, you know, people never stop going to Super Kmart, I guess.
And they never return it to the
Little
return
buggies
area,
they're
which makes it
assholes.
like 10 times
Which
easier.
let me tell you, I always do now, and I have for years since I've had this job. But It was kind of awesome and it was kind of sucky just because we live in like Southeast Texas. We're like pretty close to the Gulf. And
Humidity
shit.
is 100%
Yeah,
all the
it's
time.
like fucking humid. As
You walk in the
motherfucker.
shade and you're sweating.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, so like sometimes it really sucked and sometimes it was really awesome because they had like a little arcade at the front. Sometimes you just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break, but then I would go play pinball for like an hour and you know, that kind of shit, and or go read at the magazine rack when places still had magazine racks.
I did that whenever I worked at Target, and like one of our cart pushers called in sick, and so they were like, Daniel, go out and push cars. I'm like, okay. Well, the cool thing about it is that Target where I worked is connected to the mall, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go check the mall and see if there's any carts in there, because you know people. They walk right past the sign that says no shopping carts while they're pushing their shopping cart out.
To the other side of the fucking mall.
Yeah,
where they
and so I'm
park.
like, okay, well, I'm going to go make a quick run. I'm going to go check it out. And you walk down to like the cookie store and buy something. You go to the food court or whatever and buy something. So, yeah. So you worked at Kmart.
I think I was 16. I might
Yeah.
be a little off on that. But
And let's see, what was the other one? How long did it take for you to get the job you have now?
well, it's kind of an odd thing because I work for the government technically, and it was technically I took a test, a civil service exam that I completely forgot about for God knows how long, because once you pass the test, they just put you on like a registry, like according to
Like a waiting
score.
list.
Yeah, and like whenever your name gets called on the list, they give you a call. Honestly, I took the test and I couldn't even tell you. I completely forgot that I'd even taken the test. It was just kind of bullshitting around, working shit jobs. I went back to school for a little bit. Kind of quit doing that. I worked more shit jobs, and just eventually out of the blue one day, I got this big packet in the mail. I was like, "Hey, come interview for this job," and I was like, "Okay, yeah." So I don't even know how long it took me because I completely forgot I was even trying to get the job, and that's how long it took. And I guess I've been there coming up on 5 years now, and it's an okay gig. It's not super awesome. Stay in school, kids. Go do something with your life. I do manual labor. It's hot as fuck in Texas. Do something awesome, not in the
If
sun.
the humidity weren't as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it pays fine. I mean, I make about as much as I can make, not having like a college degree or anything. So go get a college degree and a bachelor's and whatever the fuck else comes after that. Then you won't be doing shit jobs in the sun and hustling podcasts. No.
Hustle and hustle and hustle,
I'm just kidding.
hustle and
But,
hustle.
yeah, I don't know. I have no
Okay.
idea how long it took me.
How about you, Tyler? First job.
First job. Okay, I've always worked at the school district.
How old were you when you first?
Let's see, 16 or 17. During the summer, the kids would sign up for the school district work the summer crews. You can like mow and cut grass, either be with the paint crew, paint and stuff. But I worked with the mechanic, helping them out and stuff. Plus, we knew him, so I worked for 2 summers. Then also, before everyone left, you know, school starting up, but you know, I already graduated, and I asked the main guy, I was like, hey, if you have a job position open, just consider me. And there's a grounds department. Well, a guy hurt himself, so they needed a sub, so I got hired on for a sub, not permanently. It was just a sub, and for like half a year. And then another guy in that department hurt himself, so I was on for another half. That guy came back. Another guy in that department left, so I applied for his position. I got on permanently. So
Very
then
cool.
after that, about 5 years in grounds department, and then after that, I applied for a maintenance position, which I am now, and I help the craftsmen, which would be like plumbers, AC, painter, whatever. So yeah.
So it kind of just led right into it.
Yeah, so I've been working for a school district about like 6 years.
I wanted to press him for like a fucking off when you're supposed to be working antidote like we told, but he's still employed by them, so maybe we shouldn't press him for that.
So, yeah, Tyler does have a lot of free time when he's at work, making pictures of my
At
face
times.
with a clown.
No, sir. No,
At
sir.
times, at times I do.
No, sir. We're not having that.
We are relaxed at the school district. Okay.
My very first job, I was one of those people who called homes letting them know that early voting was taking place. I was one of those D-bags.
How old were you?
17. It was during spring break. And so I worked there for about a month, just calling random people's houses, like right as they're sitting down for dinner. Hi, Mr. Such and Such. I was calling to let you know early voting's going on this week, and then they're
Fuck off.
yeah, pretty much. So
Quick.
not the nicest job to have, but I got a job with the same exact boss, but at a different location at the crawfish farm. So I worked 9 months as a crawfish farmer, and that was one of the worst jobs.
What does being a crawfish farmer entail?
I mean, you gotta plow the fields, you gotta flood the fields, you gotta cut up bait
like
and
pull a plow.
Huh?
You like ride a horse with a plow?
No, I drove
a
a tractor.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those
You
days.
can drive a tractor?
Yeah.
You have a CDL or whatever?
No.
No,
You
you
just
don't
drive
need-
tractor.
You don't need a CDL.
I literally,
Some tractors you don't need.
I literally pulled in. There was a tractor sitting at the barn. My boss says, "Hey, do you know how to drive that thing?" I said, "No." I said, "Well, you're gonna learn." I'm like, all right.
Sure.
So,
I like A-Bear dropping the tractor driving knowledge over there. He's like, you don't need a CDL for that.
Hey, I've driven tractors.
Are you CDL certified, A-Bear?
No.
How many tractors have you driven? No, I'm just kidding.
but I got really, but I got really lucky on one of the days
Edit
because
this out. A-Bear's going to get fired.
yeah, I know, right? I know. I got really lucky on one day during the summer. I mean, it was like 105 degrees with humidity, 100% or whatever. I got to drive the tractor, but it was the brand new tractor that we got. It was enclosed, had air conditioning and radio.
I never
I was
drove
like,
one of those.
yes. But yeah, it was also one of those jobs where you're wearing wading boots that go up to your shins, but you're waist deep in water. Going, I don't think I want to do this the rest of my life.
Right.
So I went there and I left there after 9 months. Worked a couple other jobs. I have the strangest story as far as how I got the job where I'm working now. As far as the radio station, I had the job offered to me.
Nice.
Like I said, for those who have listened for numerous episodes know that I want to be like a voice actor or something like that, do commercials and stuff like that, which I do at the radio station, which is completely awesome. But what I ended up doing, I ended up making a voice demo, created a MySpace page when it was popular at the time, added a bunch of my friends. One of my friends had a friend who worked at a radio station, saw, Daniel Heron, voice talent, said, oh, his voice talent, let me check this guy out, listen to my demo, saw that I was local, said, oh, he sounds really good, and they just happened to need a new part-time guy, and because they were getting ready to get rid of the old part-time guy, and he sent me an email saying, hey, I'm with this radio station, I'm, the programs director, and we're wondering if you'd be interested in being a part-time worker here. It's nothing, and he said, it's nothing to get rich off of, but it's a foot in the door. And I said, hey, where do I sign? So, and I've been here, at the end of this month, it'll be 4 years, starting my 5th.
Nice.
So there you go. So you just never know. But we hope that you get a job, just keep on trying.
Don't ever do like call center work.
Ooh.
I've worked at so many call centers and it's the worst.
Yeah.
Don't pop for that. I hated every minute of it.
But if you absolutely have to have money to pay the bills,
Well, it's better than nothing. I'm just
yeah.
saying. If
And you can also
avoid-
try restaurants or, also check and see if places are, check like your city hall, because, not a lot of people do that. If you can find a job within the city, you can be pretty well.
Fuck that, Victor. Sell drugs until you get your college degree.
Sell drugs until,
I'm actually gonna be going back to school, or
There you
trying to
go.
at least, for because I worked with the AC guy for like a year and stuff. So I'm gonna go to school for that.
Very cool.
HVAC.
So there you go. So best of luck to you, Victor. Hope you can.
So how long
land
were you
something.
working on like you just always done voice shit? Or how long did you like had you been kicking it around before you put a demo together? You've just always been like a guy who made like funny voices or imitated stuff.
Yeah, like I've been quoting lines, since I was like 3, like since I could talk. I would watch Aladdin and I would recite it and I would do all the voices and stuff like that. So it's kind of one of those things I've just done all my life, and people was like, oh, that's funny, and then I found out you can make a career off of it, and I'm like, hey, let me give this a shot.
Somebody can't make a career out of wrestling podcasting.
Hey man, if we could get the sponsors, you never know.
Hey, sponsors, holler at us.
There you go. So if you're listening and you have a job and you want to promote that job, let us know. And we'll set something up. But yeah, so I created a demo, and like literally, I'd say within a month of me creating that page, I happened to get the email.
Sweet.
So it was really
I
lucky
remember
break.
listening to that
So
demo.
basically, what we need to do is put our show on MySpace.
Well, I don't know if we'll get it across.
Hey, Justin
either,
Timberlake,
no.
he's bringing sexy back, and he's bringing MySpace back. That's all I
Oh.
knew. That's all I knew.
Is that what he said? He's bringing MySpace back?
Well, he dropped his new album on there, didn't he? As long as I got my suit and tie. Isn't that it?
Did you know that Justin Timberlake was also the voice who sang the ba da ba ba ba
I'm
for
loving
McDonald's?
it.
Yeah,
No, I didn't.
that's Justin
I know the
Timberlake.
jingle song.
Yep, he was the original
Wasn't
one.
he a Mouseketeer?
He was
Yes.
with Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
Man, I used to watch so much fucking Disney Channel.
MIC.
Did you ever see that show Bug Juice? Bug Juice.
Yeah.
About the kids in camp.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be so enthralled in that shit. I don't know why. All those kids were lame, but I loved that show. Like all those dudes were nerds. I was like, look at these nerds.
Bunch of nerds.
Let me watch this for 8 hours.
Keep on watching it.
So there you go. But thanks for the question. To submit your question, head on over to Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. You can also subscribe to our show on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
And you're gonna want to leave a review.
And leave a review and 5-star ratings.
5-star Frog Splash.
Yeah.
WNS Podcast on Twitter, and for the main site, WN Source.
Hey, don't forget to follow Ruthless Ryan Davidson on Twitter as well. And we're on tout at WNS Podcast. We never ever use it. If you're if you're interested in being a sponsor, message our page, send an email or something. We don't have email. Do we?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, they can message our Facebook page.
Yeah, do that shit.
There you go.
We will pimp the hell out of your product.
Yeah.
Then
I'll cut a
then we'll
kick-ass
pimp your
commercial.
car.
If you haven't heard the recent Booker T Reality of Wrestling commercials, you might hear a familiar voice on there. Badass.
Also, Hurricane Pro.
Hurricane Pro as well.
Hashtag hireable, guys.
There you go. So for the podcast crew, I am Dane O'Haron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
Bitchin' Radio, and we will catch you all next week.
Bitches.